You have questions. Bodie's back with answers in the garage.
Hello and welcome back to In the Garage. If you're just joining us, we've been talking about wiring. All the cool things about wiring. You know, another thing, before we went on break, now we got Shannon on the line, of course, but it was now that we started getting into something interesting. But, I mean, if you want to convert your 6-volt to a 12-volt, it's really not that hard. I mean, you basically, all the wiring will handle the 12-volt. You just have to, when it comes to your gauges and stuff, you got to work on resistor. You got to put resistors in. You got to change all the light bulbs in the car. What are some of the other stuff you got to do, Mitchell?
Anything that's motorized, windshield wipers and stuff like that, you either have to put resistors or change to a 12-volt. Most of them will work, but you're going to burn them out prematurely. Like your starter, even a 6-volt starter will work.
Yes.
Putting 12 volts to it, but it's just not going to have a long life.
Yeah. So, I mean, and if you want to keep that old look, like we did a 1950 Cadillac for Tim Allen, and if you open the engine, it looks like it's got an old generator, but it's actually an alternator. It's a single wire alternator and it's internally, God, say that 10 times fast, internally regulated, so you don't need, an external regulator, voltage regulator, and it looks like the old stuff. So, it's pretty cool. It is possible. And it's fairly, inexpensive to do that instead of wiring the whole car.
There's a lot of new stuff on the market that aims to everybody who likes the older look, but new technology. So.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, hey, let's bring in Shannon. Shannon, you there?
Hello.
What's happening,
Hello.
man?
What's up, dude?
Nothing. Fashionably late, huh?
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm at this car show in Ventura, and it's just raining. It hasn't stopped raining, so we're driving all these hot rods, muscle cars, all the way out here, just getting rained on. Some people don't have wipers, so not predicted this type of turnout for the weather.
Oh, my God. Well, you got my card, don't you? So you can hand it out to those guys that don't have wipers?
Yeah. You didn't have Stephanie stalk me with cards.
I know. Dang it. God, if I would have only known. You know what's funny, too, is that last night we're all standing outside the back of the shop, and I had a few things out there, and I go, I'm going to leave my Lincoln outside and a couple other things. It's not going to rain tomorrow, right? Everyone's all, oh, no, I don't think so. I didn't hear any rain.
Yeah.
So I woke up to it, and there it is, sprinkling. I'm like, oh, yeah.
It's funny. My father-in-law drove his 32 Ford, and it's open hood. The engine's exposed. It's got the cheater slicks on the back of the Excelsior tires. So it's throwing like 30-foot roots off the front tires when we're going down the road. But they're built to drive, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No trailer queens here, that's for sure.
Well, good for you, man. That's awesome. Well, shoot, I guess then you had a good excuse.
Yes.
Oh,
and
man.
And the fact that I walked off to get a breakfast burrito and left my phone in the car. So.
That's important.
My number one excuse.
So, yeah, we don't blame you there. But, hey, well, then just real quick, I mean, tell us a little bit about you and how you got started and, why you love gauges so much.
Okay, well, yeah, when I was 18 years old, I was working for Alpha Beta. I was a box boy at Alpha Beta.
Uh-huh.
And I was living in Ventura, and I've always been an avid skateboarder. And one of my best friends that I used to skate with, his dad owned a shop called North Hollywood Speedometer and Clock Company down in North Hollywood, California.
Yeah, I know him, yeah.
And they've been around for about 50 years.
Yeah.
And his son and I were best friends, and we used to race remote control cars. And I was always the one that was building his cars for him and setting them up and, changing the suspension and tricking them out and making them work better. And his mom was like, hey, he's telling his dad, he's all, hey, this guy's really good at working with small things. You should hire him at the instrument shop. Mm-hmm. So, and I was driving a '67 Plymouth Fury 3. That was like my that was my first entry into Mopar.
Nice.
My Mopar-ness. And I always did all my own work on it and everything like that. So, one thing happened, and he called me up, and I went to work for him, and I worked there for 15 years, ended up becoming the service manager. And about 8 years ago, my father-in-law got ownership of some property that had a little house on it that was zoned commercial.
Yeah.
And he said that would make a good speedometer shop, And
oh, dude, and it does. I love
my own business with with my brother, 8 years ago, and we've been going strong ever since.
That is cool. Yeah, I was telling people earlier how cool your shop is.
Oh, yeah. It's funny because I look at it and go, oh, man, it's so messy and, like, it's unorganized.
No, it's just,
but,
it felt like home.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's a house built in the 20s, so.
Yeah,
You go
no.
up in the attic, and there's all these ceramic wiring and all this crazy wiring up in the shop. It's pretty crazy.
I know. I got to go up in the attic next time I'm there.
Yeah.
You were telling me that Troy Ladd likes to go up there when he's
yeah.
there, so I got to go see what all the fuss is
He's got some
about.
project, and he wants to find a unique gauge cluster to put in it. He goes up there and hunts around and digs through.
Now, if somebody wants something unique, can you find that for them, or?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends. I have a lot of that older stuff. When we opened up, an old shop went out of business, and we got, we got his whole inventory. So I got tons of old 30s, 40s, 50s gauge clusters up in my attic. Some complete and some incomplete, but we can usually, like with Troy, he found an old Pontiac cluster, and it was missing a few gauges, and we actually just made gauges for it. So, made our own faces, did our own artwork for it.
And you guys can make stuff, pretty much all the new stuff, or make the old stuff work with all the new stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the most common things, like what you guys were talking about with the 6 to 12 volt conversions. That's really common for us right now. We got guys, Roy Brizio Street Rods, and a few of the other real, popular hot rod shops are sending us gauge clusters that they find. They don't even care what kind of car it's out of. It could be a Packard or a DeSoto or whatever.
Hey, Shannon, can you hang on for 1 minute while we take a break?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
We'll be right back.